What is up, everybody? Happy Friday. How you doing? How you feeling? Excited to be here. We'll be joined today with NBA legend Richard Hamilton. We're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs, breaking down the best moments so far. Obviously, with the Pistons getting the number one pick in the draft, we'll be curious to hear his draft takes. And, needless to say, Richard Hamilton, the best masked player of all time. Very excited to hear his thoughts about Devin Booker adjusting to a new mask situation in the conference finals. But without further ado, let's bring on the legend himself, Richard Hamilton. Welcome to the show, man. Good to have you.
Oh no, great to be back on the show.
Yeah. So how have the playoffs been treating you, man?
You know what? A lot of surprises, right? A lot of drama, a lot of great storylines. It's been exciting, especially when you have a few teams in your mind before the season that you think that's going to be there at the end, and now they're not there. So I think it's definitely been a lot of thriller and a lot of excitement so far.
Yeah, so I think when we met last, we were talking a Lakers Nets finals. That was what you, Ben, and myself all agreed on. Which has been the biggest surprise so far? Obviously, injuries have played a major role in where we are today, but has there been one series so far that really just caught you off guard or by surprise?
Well, I think the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, come on now. I mean, you see how they started out the season. They make a coaching change. Nate McMullen been awesome for this group. He's been holding Trey Young accountable to play both sides of the ball and be more of a not just be a scorer, but also get guys involved and things like that. Uh, but just their success in the playoffs, man, they feel like they should be here. Like they're not a team that's just happy just to say, all right, we made it to the playoffs. We're happy to get past the first round in New York. They really feel like they're supposed to be here, and they really feel like they got a real opportunity to make it to the finals. So I would have to say the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, and I think Trey Young has just wasn't even an all-star this year. So A, proving the skeptics wrong, and then B, like I think for the past decade or so in the era of LeBron's dominance, there's been this perception that you can't have a small guy out on the court in the playoffs because they'll get bullied. Trey Young kind of changing that narrative in real time. And to your point, Nate McMillan, what a job he's done. Uh, Both like getting the best out of his guys. They started the season 14-20 before he took over, and now they're just 3 wins away from the NBA Finals. I don't know if there's been a Cinderella story like this in the NBA playoffs in, I don't know, last time maybe the 98 Knicks with the 8 seed. Like, I don't know, Rip, tell me, is there a more recent example like this?
No, right? I tell people it's very different than the NCAA tournament because in the NCAA tournament you come out and you have one bad night. If you're the number one or number two seed, you're going home. But in the NBA playoffs, there's a 7-game series. So even though with the Pistons, we might have one night off. We're there for a reason. We're not going to have back-to-back nights where we're not hitting on all cylinders. So no, I can't remember it. I mean, that's what this game is all about. That's why we love it. There's surprises all the time, but anytime you got a player like Trey Young, right, a guy that was All-Star last year and didn't make the All-Star team this year, and this team has a lot to prove because they feel as though that, hey, you know what, a lot of people disrespect them all season long and didn't believe that they were a contender. I always tell people about the NBA. These guys are pros. It's a reason why they're the top 350 most talented athletes in the world. Like you just can't look at a team and say, "Oh, okay, they don't have talent or they don't have the skill." It's all about one. You got to be a little lucky because we all know just watching the playoffs this season, injuries is a big fat injury. You got to be healthy, but you also got to be hitting on all cylinders, and they're doing a good job of doing that.
Now, changing gears a little bit, because the elephant in the room here is that Your Pistons have the number 1 pick in the draft coming up. This doesn't happen to Detroit. The lottery has not been super kind to them over the years, but obviously this is reputed to be, if not the best class of the decade, one of the best classes of the decade. And at the very top of that list is Cade Cunningham. Now, we don't know if the Pistons will take him, but from what you know about this class and what you've seen from their team, is there a guy that you're kind of looking at as someone you think would be a day one great addition for this program that they're building?
Yeah, first of all, big shout out to Ben Wallace. I mean, hey, being there during the lottery, was a Hall of Famer. Just got nominated as a Hall of Famer this year. He brought the luck. I mean, that's what it's about right there. That's Detroit basketball at its finest. I'm super excited. Yeah, right there. Right there. We had a little part there on FaceTime and him. We tried Chauncey and them on the call too, but Chauncey was coaching during that time. But I think that we're super excited. I mean, like you said, this is one of the best classes that that the NBA has had in a long time, and for us to get the number 1 pick is huge. Cade Cunningham is a talent that is a once in a generation talent. I mean, the guy's been the top of his class since he was in like 6th, 7th grade. Big body, big point guard. Play both sides of the ball. Can play 1, 2, or 3. It's perfect for the NBA right now because a lot of teams are playing positionless basketball. You got to be able to guard and play multiple spots on the floor. Suggs had a great NCAA tournament with Gonzaga, right? Very Dwayne Wade like, and then you got the kid from SC. What's his
Evan
name?
Mobley, yeah.
Evan Mobley, yes, kind of like an Anthony Davis like prototype. So the class is stacked, man. So I'm just excited for us to be in that number 1 position to make a decision on who we want to draft.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a stacked draft. I'll be really curious. I think Cade will end up being the first pick, but I'll be really curious to see, obviously, Brian Shaw and the work he's done with the G League Ignite, right? We got Jalen Green, we got Jonathan Kuminga, both presumed to be top 5 picks as well. So I'll be curious. This is we're in a new normal here, right? The NCAA is not the only route to becoming a pro anymore, and seeing what the G League can do to develop these guys, and obviously the success of European players coming in more consistently now and proving to be successful. I look forward. I don't envy the job of a scout today because there are so many different places to look.
We got to, like I said, us having the number 1 pick. Yes, Cade Cunningham is arguably the number 1 pick this year. But when you're talking about the guys that you already spoke about, because I forgot about Green. I mean, he's very Vince Carter like all 5 of these guys could be a superstar. Right. There's no question like that they can't. So it's going to be exciting to see how all these guys develop once they get there.
Yeah, as a former scout, I can say this without dragging the other scouts out there. But last year, of course, the perception was it's not the best draft class, right? Like LaMelo, a lot of uncertainty there. Anthony Edwards, some uncertainty there. Turns out to be one of the best draft classes in recent years. This one is the opposite narrative, supposed to be, if not the best, one of the best of the decade. So community, just stay tuned. You're going to have some epic rookie moments coming very soon. But before then, we've got these playoff packs. We're dropping 185,000 packs today, including the very best moment from round 2. So very excited to dive into this. Before we do and break down some of the moments that we're seeing, I just wanted to kind of, we saw on Twitter yesterday, we saw on Instagram, Devin Booker said that you were his favorite player growing up. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship you might have with him, as I know Devin was a Detroit kid growing up?
Yeah, I've been knowing Devin since he was, 16, 17 years old. Uh, being, uh, playing in Detroit, really having my ears to in the community because of all the things that I've done, especially helping my guy Speedy, who actually runs the family in Michigan, who has probably one of the best organizations, AAU organizations in the country. And so I was always in tune with the high school kids as they were coming up. And one of the guys that I met during my journey was Devin. And this is before, like, people always say, like, Devin Booker, the superstar, probably the best two guard in the NBA right now. He was just a young kid trying to make a name for himself. And he asked a lot of questions. He was wanted to be a student just like he is now, trying to get the edge just like every young kid trying to come up. But he was, he had a very serious mentality, one to be very precise with his questions. But he's definitely an elite talent, man. It's very special now to see him being able to develop and him being recognized as probably the best two guard in the NBA, in my opinion, and now playing on that stage. And he talked about we always talk about how when he was a little kid and how he watched me play and how he used to run around the house with a mask that he done made, and now you see on the biggest stage in the world, he's actually wearing the mask. So it's fun. I mean, God works in mysterious ways. It's something great and unbelievable, and I'm just happy for the kid.
Yeah. Now, Rip, you would know better than anyone. Obviously, Devin didn't have the best game of his playoffs last night. How much of an adjustment is it for someone like him? Now, for you, you wore it every night for years. For someone like him, putting on the mask for maybe the first time in such a high leverage situation, is that a tough adjustment to make as a player?
Oh, yes, it is a huge adjustment. I mean, one, when I was talking to him the other day before the game, we were just talking one about the surgery process. They put me to sleep under anesthesia, right? So I didn't feel anything. I mean, this just shows you his toughness, man. He said they just numbed it up and kind of just popped it back in, and I'm like, nah, I don't think I would have been tough enough to do that. So that just shows you how tough the kid is. But one, playing with a mask it is difficult, right? Because I always use the analogy, like as a kid, every kid experienced going trick or treating, and we all wore this piece of plastic on our face, but we never wore the mask down the whole 2 hours that we was going trick or treating. We will most likely go have the mask up, and then when you hit the doorbell, you bring the mask down, say trick or treat, and that's it. So it's like going trick or treating, but with having a mask on for the whole 2 hours. So it's definitely an adjustment. One, I was able to adjust during the regular season, right? So I would be able to see what I like, feel the discomfort because the mask was hot, sweaty. It would get foggy inside. So yes, and I probably broke like 3 or 4 of them just throwing them down because I didn't really enjoy wearing it. He got a little bit more difficult task, knowing that he has to wear it in the Western Conference Finals. But I think he addressed well. I mean, this kid is built for this. He's definitely he's definitely has the mental toughness. So I think he'll figure it out. They got a day off today, so hopefully he'll be wearing it around the day just to kind of get adjusted to it.
For sure. I think the chat is doing a collective gasp. Richard Hamilton admitting he didn't enjoy wearing the mask. It became such a part of your identity that you made it look so natural. But I imagine
later, I didn't enjoy wearing it at first.
Okay.
But once I got used to it, it became my cape. I couldn't take it off, and Ben Wallace wouldn't let me take it off either.
Awesome. Well, without further ado, I think it's time we break down some of the moments that these collectors will be able to get in these 185,000 packs we have available today. We're going to break these down by team, and we're going to start with the Denver Nuggets. Hell of a season from Nikola Jokic, winning the MVP. Obviously, Jamal Murray's injury got in the way of their title aspirations, but I would love to start there with some of the moments from Denver in the Western Conference semis. JP in the studio, can we pull it up? I think we're going to start with Will Barton. You know what? Actually, we're going to start with some round one moments, and we're gonna play it in just a compilation video. These are all the moments from round one that we didn't drop 2 weeks ago, but are going to make it into the drop today. We got a Derek Jones Jr. throwdown, one of the best dunkers in the league.
Oof. One of the highest jumpers in the league right there. He's a Philly guy. He's a PA boy right there.
Kemba, what did you think of the Kemba Walker Al Horford trade?
Well, Celtics was going to do something. I think that I like it for both parties, really. I mean, one gives Kemba opportunity to go, to OKC, young group of kids, kind of have that very similar role that Chris Paul had a year ago. So he should fit nicely. And for the Celtics, bringing in Al Horford, a veteran that they need, a good locker room guy that understands how to play with the young core with Jaylen Brown and Tatum.
Yeah. And then now we got Kyle Anderson, slow mode, beating Derek Favors up the floor. Kyle Anderson, low-key great defender.
It's that slow-mo right there, man. That's one of them guys that you see at the park. You say, hey, I know I can guard him, but get out there and he'll scorch you for 40.
We're rapid firing through these, and we're going to get to the second round ones. Here's Matisse Thybulle. Just goes to show how long, like, the Wizards-Sixers series feels like ages ago. And it was really, like 2 weeks ago?
I know, right? Yes, it does.
Playoffs just fly by.
Hey, this year.
Yeah. Nick Claxton making his playoff debut with the Nets, one of the most versatile defensive bigs in the league. We didn't see much of him in the Bucks series.
I thought he would get a little bit more time out there, man. Young kid that's athletic, block shots. I thought he would play a little bit more too.
Yeah, it was a weird series. The Bucks are such an interestingly constructed team that it's hard to find the time. Tim Hardaway Jr., or as I call him, contract year Tim. Every time he's in a contract year, he puts up big numbers, and he really proved himself to be one of the best perimeter scorers in the playoffs for Dallas. We'll be excited to see where he ends up in free agency. Austin Rivers. Rip, it's not every day that you have a guy get waived and then start for a playoff contender.
No, he was a big pickup, man. Listen, Austin Rivers, he's a great veteran guy, understands how to play the right way. Great on and off court veteran. That was a huge pickup for them.
Bradley Beal, man.
That man needs no introduction right there. Try to double spin baseline. That was one of my favorite spots on the floor right there. Baseline to baseline.
Yeah, he plays a little bit like you. Great in the mid-range, great on the perimeter, always moving when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. This is a guy, Cam Payne. What a breakout postseason it's been for him. Started out in OKC, was better known for his dancing with Russ than what he was doing on the floor. And after he got traded to Chicago, got a little bit written off. But what he's doing with Phoenix, obviously the injury this week, but he's been an integral part of what they're doing.
His speed definitely hurted the Clippers in game one.
We got CJ, another guy that plays a little bit like you. This was a buzzer beater to end the quarter.
CJ buckets right there. That man is a bucket. One of the most rated guards in the game, man.
He's come up a lot in trade rumors, especially around the Ben Simmons conversation recently. Do you think that makes sense as a trade for both parties? Do you think that the Blazers should kind of hold fast with the Dame and CJ combo, or do you think it's time for both of those teams to maybe explore what they can get for those guys?
Well, I definitely think Portland got to make a decision. I mean, you look at their success in the playoffs the last couple of years. They have to make a change. I do think they have to make a trade. For Philly, I don't know. Ben Simmons still young, man. Ben Simmons still a top 10, top 15 player. So all these people talking about trading, man. Be careful what you ask for, because he's definitely one of them guys that, hey, you know what? We just got to stop looking at him as being a scorer. That's not what he is.
Right. Another guy not known for his scoring, De'Anthony Melton, but hits a big three here in the first round. Melton, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league as well. And we're going to pull up the round 2 moments shortly. But just coming off of round 1, you saw some great moments there. Now, I think I'm a Knicks fan, Rip, and I was really down on my luck as a Knicks fan with the Hawks kind of taking it to us. Now I have a little bit more solace. I'm taking a little bit of comfort knowing it's not just us.
Upset at first then. That's what you're saying. You thought it was an upset.
I did. Little did I know how good this Hawks team was. And yeah, I mean, one thing that gives me a little bit of confidence in the Hawks against Milwaukee, outside of obviously winning game 1 and Trae Young putting up 48 points, is the Hawks had every defensive answer on Julius Randle. And not saying that Julius Randle and Giannis are the same player, very far from it, of course. But as far as how you'd scheme out kind of containing them and cutting off their driving lanes, Atlanta had a lot of success against Julius Randle. And so I think it will be a tougher series for Giannis than people are giving him credit for. Atlanta has a lot of options, from Clint Capella, a great defender, to John Collins, who's got the size, not necessarily known for his defense, to the guys on the bench even, Onyeka Okongwu, Solomon Hill, just a lot of strong bodies that can give Giannis, just even if it's just the 6 fouls, right? In the playoffs, you know that more than anyone, Rip. Using up fouls, the Eldon Campbells of the world, it goes a long way toward your championship run.
Yeah, but also they in that New York Knicks series, they had DeAndre Hunter.
Right.
That's a tough young kid right there. 6'8", long, strong, can defend. So they don't have him this series, but I do believe they got the right type of bigs on that team, and small forwards that can kind of muck the paint up. I mean, they're long, they're lanky, they know how to build the wall. If you get by Collins, then you got the big fella in the back blocking shots, right? Same thing with some of their perimeter players. They got guys that they throw in that's tough-minded, that's willing to take the foul. We had, like you said, we had guys like that. We had the Eldon Campbells, the Darvin Hams, where we were like, all right, Ham, look, bro, hey, this guy's killing us right now. We're going to put you in for 3-4 minutes. Hey, man, make him feel you. We ain't going to say hurt him, but make him feel you, D-Ham. So when you have them type of guys that comes in the game and not afraid to foul because of how much time they're going to be out on the floor, understanding their role, that's a huge asset.
Shout out to Darvin, man. Milwaukee Bucks assistant coach, future head coach, right?
Should get a head coaching job too, D-Ham.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to the second round moments, the moments that you all are in line to get. Obviously, those first round moments we just showed will also be available, but these are the second rounders, and we're going to start with the Nuggets. Will Barton came back from injury. It was a little too late for Denver, but Barton, Will the Thrill, one of the more exciting, dynamic players in the league.
Yeah, I don't know if it's what's better, the dunk or the pass by the Joker right there. I mean, his feel for the game is second to none. I mean, probably one of the best passing bigs we done seen in a long time.
Is there anyone that you played with or against in your era that Jokic reminds you of, just playing style and dominance?
From a passing ability, I mean, Chris Webber. Webb was great on the post, can score, can knock down shots on the perimeter. But the one thing that he was really, really great at was, man, he can pass that ball. Doesn't get a whole lot of credit. Happy that he's also a guy that made it to the Hall of Fame this year. People don't always give I don't think people give him his respect that he deserves, but I would say Chris Webber.
Yeah, Chris Webber, man. That's a legend just came into the league at the height of the power forward renaissance, right? And you had one in Rashid, but like from, obviously we got the three from that era: Tim Duncan, Garnett, and Dirk. But then you just go down the list. You got Chris Webber, you got Rashid, you got Pau Gasol, Elton Brand. The list goes 10 deep, 15 deep of
Dirk
legends.
Nowitzki. Don't forget Dirk Nowitzki too.
Yeah, no,
and
for sure.
Antonio McDyess.
Once a Nick, always a Nick with McDyess. Got to give a little hat tip there. Chris Bosh came toward the later end of that era, but was certainly a factor. Speaking of good passers, Facundo Campazzo, 28-year-old rookie, Argentinian, just plays a great style. And when we're showing Nuggets moments, it's hard not to include Jokic in pretty much every single one, but this was hell of a pass from Facundo.
Oh, yeah, that was right there. Just recognizing where his guy is. That team right there they're very unselfish. Joker's usually the guy making a pass, but that time he was a receiver of one.
I always love it. It seems like once a decade we get like an elder statesman, Argentinian rookie. Last decade it was Pablo Prigioni. This decade it's Facundo Campazzo. And I think he's going to be a problem in the league for a little while as just a pesky, tenacious defender, great passer. We have quite a few Facundo Campazzo assist moments on Top Shot with good reason. The guy passes like few others in the league. Moving along here, we've got Aaron Gordon, investor in NBA Top Shot. And, as we said, hard not to include Jokic in the moment. And Aaron Gordon really unlocked playing with Jokic the second half of the season.
That was a good pickup right there, too. I mean, right there, his athletic ability is second to none. Now he can just get out on a break. He ain't got to worry about being the guy. Matching him up with Joker, especially in transition, there's going to be a lot more of them highlights coming in the years to come.
Yeah, and I think with Gordon, he was put into a somewhat difficult position where now he's guarding Devin Booker on the perimeter. He's a big body. I really am bullish on the Nuggets long term. Once Jamal Murray comes back, that big four of Murray and Gordon and Porter and Jokic, that's tough, man. They're big.
Yes. Murray spaces everybody out. Right. Without no Murray, everything is boggled down.
Now moving along to the victors of that series, we got some moments from the Suns. Mikal Bridges having a breakout postseason.
Oh, I'm still upset that the Sixers traded him on draft day because this kid right here, oh my goodness, he's going to get paid this summer. I'm telling you that right now. I mean, he does everything. If it's defending, scoring, getting to loose balls, he's one of them guys that you want on your ball club.
Now, you mentioned him earlier, Deandre Hunter. It seems like one player per draft, there's just a prototypical 3-and-D guy. Is going to lock up. Your Pistons got Sadiq Bey last draft class. He's going to be a stud. Mikal Bridges is arguably the best perimeter defender in the entire NBA, and he shoots the three at 40% plus. Very, as you said, he's going to get paid and well-deserving because he makes that engine click, right? The attention goes to Booker and Paul and Aiden with good reason. But without Bridges, I don't know if they're the powerhouse that they've become. This moment, Torrey Craig, will be narrated by Torrey Craig. Ooh. If you get this moment in a pack, Torrey Craig's going to give you his breakdown of why this is one of the top moments of his career. And he's certainly a high flyer.
Oh, yes, it is. Torrey Craig, he was with Denver, right?
He was with Denver last year and ended up actually with Milwaukee this year. Now, Milwaukee waived him. They better be kicking themselves because they need some guys that can defend Trae Young.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's a high flyer, too. Gets out, transition, does whatever he got to do to get on the court. You got to like them guys, especially when you got other superstar players with Devin Booker and CP3. That's a great moment right there.
What I love about that moment in particular is the Suns obviously pretty star heavy, and that's Cameron Payne and Torrey Craig, two guys that come off the bench and just are there to kind of provide energy, make sure that their team doesn't fall behind when the starters rest. Talking about stars, Chris Paul. This is Chris Paul at his finest.
Oh, Listen, CP has been doing that move since his rookie year, and people are still going for that. That's just the crafty veteran kind of threw Joker off right there. You know what spot he want to get to. I just talked to it. We were going back and forth the other day, and we are talking about just the medium range game. You allow him to get to his spot, man, he's going to kill you.
Now, Rip, my hot take here, I think Chris Paul is 36 years old. I think he's got at least 5 years left in him. Like, the guy, he doesn't need his athleticism to be a dominant force in the league. Do you think that's a Weiland take, or could you see him putting up kind of Jason Kidd, Mavs, and Knicks era numbers for the next 5 or so?
Easy, without a doubt. I mean, the way that he plays the game, I tell people all the time, basketball is played 80% from the shoulders up. One of the smartest dudes in the game, one of the best leaders in the game. And he's just so crafty. He knows how to use his body. He doesn't beat you up on athletic ability, but just on skill and knowing where everybody at on the floor. Chauncey Billups told me the other day, he said CP3 is one of the smartest players he ever played with, all time. So coming from him, you have to respect that.
Yeah, if he wants to go into coaching, if he wants to go into acting, if he wants to go into media, if he wants to go into the front office, Chris Paul will have his choice of whatever he wants to do. He's already the president of the Players Association. So the guy is, as you said, one of the smartest around. Moving along here to the next series, we've got Utah and the Clippers. We're going to go down the Utah list. We got Jordan Clarkson, 6th man of the year this year.
Yeah, he's been balling all season long, man. This guy just Mr. Get Buckets. Kind of reminds me a lot of when Ben Gordon used to come off the bench. That's going to be a great moment right there. He was a one-man wrecking crew many games for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, and my favorite Jordan Clarkson fun fact, so he's half Filipino, and he and Jeremy Lin made NBA history as the first all-Asian American backcourt in NBA history when they started with the Lakers a few years back. So put that on a Snapple bottle or something.
I didn't know that. That is definitely a fun fact right there.
Moving along here, we got one of my favorite players in the league, Joe Ingles. Just, again, one of the smarter players, and he can pass it like no other. And here's a finish that you don't often see.
That's a horse shot right there. That's one of them when you try to roll it up on top of the backboard right there for it to kind of trickle down in the basket right there.
Absolutely. And Joe Ingles, of course, brought over to the States, actually had a training camp offer with the Clippers, got cut in training camp, was about to fly back to Australia, and got a call from the Jazz to join. Look at Chris Paul's reaction on this one. Nick Batum, everyone's just besmirched. They don't know what to do with this one. Moving along, Spida.
Oh, look at that one right there. The double pump and the fingertip dunk right there. The Spider had a great playoffs too. I mean, dude's been hurt early, late in the season, and to come back and to be as efficient he was, that's definitely a nice little moment right there, whoever gets that one.
And that moment, extra special because he dropped a 45 piece in that game, obviously wears number 45. So pretty awesome. All right, moving ahead. Now we got the victors of the series, the Clippers, and this is one of my favorite moments of the entire season. Terrence Mann becoming a household name overnight.
Oh, over Rudy Gobert right there. Yes, I remember that tip dunk right there. I thought it was offensive goaltending, though, to be honest for you. But I think the refs kind of was stuck in mud just knowing that he actually jumped over Rudy on that play right there. They didn't expect that dunk. So I would have to agree with you.
Terrence Mann going for 39 points in that breakout performance. And as we've seen on Top Shot, the NBA fan community is certainly taking notice of this guy. He has filled in for Kawhi as best as anyone you can expect, a second rounder 2 seasons ago, and coming through straight out of Florida State. I'm very bullish on Terrence Mann as a long-term starter in this league, two-way player. Moving along to the next moment, Nick Batum. You played in the league with Nick Batum. He's still doing it, man.
I always say that Nick Batum is still in the lead. I mean, this guy right here just shows you he has a high level basketball IQ, man. When you watch the game now, look, he's still finishing over the rim. What's this? His 20th year in the league?
Feels like it, man.
I played against him when he was in Charlotte.
Right. Yeah, and then Portland before that, drafted by the Rockets, traded to Portland. But when Batum came into the league, he was lanky, he was skinny, and he was athletic. And now he's much more on the ground type player. But as you said, one of the smartest players in the league. Doesn't hold the ball for long, just moves it, knows how to defend. Big fan of his.
You need vets to win playoff games. I always tell people, vets, guys that been there, he's one of them.
Now we got, of course, the Paul George. Before this season, had a maybe less than stellar postseason reputation over the past few seasons, but he is taken names this playoffs. He has been on one and putting the Clippers on his back. Again, no disrespect to Rudy Gobert, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, but the Clippers figured out some ways to create opportunities. This is just Paul George. The handle, the fluidity, few guys like him in the league today.
And he understood that, hey, man, it's probably my best interest not to go all the way to the basket. Hit him with the little pull-up, the little stop and go to get Rudy off on him a little bit, to get a shot off.
Absolutely. Now, moving ahead, we've got some Eastern Conference Finals moments to break down here. These are some good ones. We're going to start with the Sixers and Hawks series as it gets pulled up. We're going to filibuster here. Obviously, a huge offseason for the Sixers. As you said, Ben Simmons, still an elite player, a lot of recency bias around kind of what he can't do, overlooking what he can do. One of the best defenders in the entire NBA. Do you think I think it is fair to ask, though, would Ben Simmons be better off on a team that didn't have such a dominant interior presence like Joel Embiid? Do you think it is in their best interest to split that up long-term, irregardless of what the value back for the Sixers is?
Well, you think about where the game is right now. I mean, if he was playing during our era, I would say, heck no, because the game was played in the 80s, low 90s pretty much. Now the game is much faster. There's a lot more, focus on the three-point shot. I wouldn't say, hey, you know what, he can't play with Joel Embiid long-term. I think that whoever – you need to add a shooting guard piece, like a guy. If you could add someone, and I don't know, I'm just talking out loud. If you could add a guy like a Bradley Beal, right, to that team with already Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, then you're not focused on Ben Simmons' shot as much, because you got a guy on the perimeter that is really good in pick and roll, can stretch the floor from three. You can put Ben Simmons on a weak side, and you're not even worrying about him having to have the same impact from an offensive standpoint. I think people are so caught up in trying to compare this kid to, like, let's say a LeBron James, or putting him in the same category as a Steph Curry or Dame Lillard. He's different than all of them dudes, man. I mean, he impacts the game in so many different ways. And once we stop looking at him and putting him in that category, I always say, like, not to compare the two, but when you look at Draymond Green, right? Draymond Green is not a guy that we say, okay, when Steph and all of them went out, it was like, oh, Draymond needs to score more. No, Draymond impacts the game in so many different ways. If it's scoring, I mean, if it's passing, if it's defending the best player, Draymond can dominate the game without taking the shot. That's how Ben Simmons is. But we put Ben Simmons in this category where it's like, oh, we want him to be Dame Lillard, or we want him to be Steph Curry or Kyrie. He is not them guys. That's not the reason why he was a, three-time All-Star. It's not why he was a Rookie of the Year. It's not why he was a high draft pick. So I think you got to get that out of their head.
Rip, it's just so painful. And I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm being a little false when I say it's painful for me. But knowing that the Sixers did have Jimmy Butler on that roster, who was such a perfect fit next to those guys, you got to kind of –
I agree.
one day we'll get an expose on what went down that offseason, and I can't wait to read that when it's all said and done. But moving ahead now, speaking of Ben Simmons, obviously not the best series for him, but what a moment this is. Just
that was nice right there. The one-hand palm, you know how difficult that is right there? To be on target right there to your big fella. That play was drawn up, though, right there.
That's Doc Rivers at his finest, and that's Joel Embiid at his finest. That's just like, if there's going to be a snapshot of when these two are good together, this is it, right? Ben Simmons on the block, drawing attention, and Joel Embiid being able to somehow, as a 7-2 guy, slip, get undetected, get to the rim, and finish that alley-oop. Moving along, we've got a Seth Curry moment. You said they need more shooting. Seth Curry brought it this series. Percentage-wise, as good a shooter, if not better than his brother. But I think, there's never going to be a shooter quite like his brother. But Seth, journeyman for most of his career, I think he's finally settled in as a starter on a contender and should be there for a while.
Yeah, no, he really can stroke that ball. That's what they need. I mean, guys like that. I mean, when you add more perimeter shooters on the team, I always say when Ben had a lot of success for the Sixers, it was Marco. He was playing with Marco Bellinelli, guys that can just shoot the ball. They didn't need to do anything else. They just needed to space the floor. And Curry, again, added to that roster right there. He's a guy right there that helps Ben Simmons out because – you need space, and like you said, you're not going to get a lot of space from Ben and Embiid, especially when you want Embiid on the block. That's the most difficult part. Point guard that wants to drive, and then you got the big man that you want to be on the block. So you got a lot of question marks over there in Philly.
Absolutely. Now we got Shake Milton, another guy that had a breakout season. This one, a long range buzzer beater. Shake Milton, he's got the opportunity to step up next season as one of those primary creators for their team. Good two-way player, really long wingspan, and excited to see how he continues to develop. But the Sixers were not the story of this series. Rip, as you said, the surprise of the playoffs so far, we got these young Atlanta Hawks, and here's Bogdan Bogdanovic's moment from the series.
Oh, yeah.
Hits a big one.
He was hitting big shot after big shot right there. That was a nice little catch and shoot right there because that was a big moment. That kind of sealed the game right there for Atlanta on that shot.
And then look at the shush, the Trae Young shush at the end. They're really embracing the villain role of this playoffs. And Bogdan, of course, the stories don't just end with him being a contributor for these Hawks. Of course, last summer, rumored to be going to the Bucks. There was a snafu with sign and trades, ends up in Atlanta. I'm sure the Bucks wish they had a guy like him on their roster right now. He could be the determining piece of the Eastern Conference this season. I don't think we knew that going into the year.
I would have to agree with you on that one. The kid can flat out shoot the ball.
Danilo Gallinari, another offseason pickup for the Hawks, who's paying off right now. And Gallinari, not known for his defense, but makes a huge defensive stop on Embiid, flushes it home the other end.
No, Gallinari, man, he was a huge pickup for them also, too. With a nice little fingertip dunk, I can say right there. But huge pickup, guy that can really space the floor for that Hawks team. They did a great job putting great pieces around Trae Young.
Travis Schlenk, it took a while, but the fruits of his labors putting this team together paying off. And, it wouldn't be the Atlanta Hawks. It wouldn't be recapping the best moments from their series if we didn't have a Trae Young moment. Trae, I've just been so impressed with this guy.
Oh. No, listen, his ability to right there, that was the next level for Trae Young. His ability to get to the basket and not worry about his own shot, to find the open teammate. That right there is an example of the Nate McMillan effect right there. Getting the other guys involved. Don't just be pounding the ball out. We just can't just win with you. But right there, just his ability to use his quickness to get his guy, Jay Collins, a nice little open opportunity.
Now, a guy you played against for years that this play just reminds me a ton of is Trae Young's idol, Steve Nash, right? Like the drive to the lane and just the impossible kick out there. Trae Young just making a statement and kind of rewriting the narrative of the Luka Doncic trade. Now it's the Trae Young and Luka Doncic trade. And we haven't even talked about Cam Reddish, who's been out this postseason. If he comes back, Atlanta just adds another tenacious two-way player to their roster. They're deep.
Deep, long, athletic, and they can all shoot the ball.
Moving ahead here to as good as that series was, I think this was the series of the playoffs so far. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Blake Griffin. I don't think when the Nets picked him up, they knew he would be so pivotal to them. But, oh, man, Giannis wants no part of that business decision.
Everybody talks about when he was in Detroit, didn't get one dunk for his time there and get to Brooklyn. There must be something in that water out there. They said New York City got the best water, got the water out there. So that's a prime example right there, him with his little come fly with me moment right there over Giannis.
Yeah, we got great pizza, we got great bagels, and if I drink enough gallons of water a day, maybe one day I'll be able to dunk. Not counting on it, but we'll see. Moving along here, Uncle Jeff Green, 7 3-pointers in this game in arguably the most memorable game of the playoffs so far. Man, he's also like Nick Batum. He's just been around forever. The guy had open heart surgery about a decade ago, and he's still doing it. Utmost respect for this guy.
Oh, yeah, that was a game that they needed, too. Multiple guys out right there. He was trying to figure out who was going to step up, but, Uncle Jeff, he came through in the clutch, knocking down big shots just like that.
And what I would say, I'll say this for Kevin Durant. We're gonna play his moment from this series. I think you already know which one it is. I'm gonna say if this shot went in, it would have been if his foot was half an inch behind the line, would have been the biggest shot of his career.
Absolutely. That's one of the moments that I wish hopefully I'll pull right there. Because that right there was just nothing that any man on the planet could do anything about it. I don't care what defender in the NBA. That's just a 7-footer getting to his spot when using his length. Look how much length he has on that shot right there. I mean, he doesn't even see PJ Tucker, especially once he turns around and gets it off.
That right there, almost to me, and correct me if you disagree, that feels like if Dirk Nowitzki and Kobe Bryant were just melded into one on that specific play. Perfect pieces of both of them there.
I would have to agree with you. I never even looked at it like that. You're absolutely right.
Now, moving along, we got Milwaukee, and let's throw them their flowers because people didn't think they were written off. They fell behind 2-0 in this series, but they pulled it out. Drew Holiday, not the strongest offensive series from him, but lockdown defense from guarding Kyrie early in the series to Harden to KD. He did it all. The guy is just a bona fide star. No other way around it. And that's a great moment.
Very crafty ball too.
Now this guy, another guy in the Nick Batum and Jeff Green kind of space, PJ Tucker has been doing it for years.
Oh yeah, PJ right there. That's what you brought PJ for in the game right there. He ain't never scared out there on that defense end. You got KD coming downhill on you, and you still hold your ground to get a steal, and then you throw the oop too. Show him another wrinkle in your game, PJ.
And Giannis with the flush there. Now, like we were saying about Brogdon a few minutes ago, I think the PJ Tucker subplot of this year totally under-discussed because Houston, we knew they were trading James Harden. We knew Brooklyn really wanted James Harden. We knew that Brooklyn could use a guy like PJ Tucker on their team as well. Houston refuses to include PJ Tucker in that trade. Fast forward a couple of months, the Bucks somehow get PJ Tucker, a guy we all know is going to make a statement in the playoffs for, I think, 2 second-round picks. And he was the X factor in this series. He guarded KD, made timely shots, and this moment right here goes to show he's still got a bag of tricks.
Yeah, Milwaukee understood that they need to win now. two second round picks, that's not going to help them in a win column now.
Right. Yeah, we'll see if it helps anyone. I still can't remember a time where 2 future second rounders proved to be the difference in a team's championship fortune, but I'll digress. Moving along, Giannis, I think this was a huge series for his legacy, proven that he can come through and you know, we can give Rudy Gobert the Defensive Player of the Year award in full confidence because I think Rudy did earn it this season. But come playoff time, what Giannis can do on the perimeter and on the interior, is there a guy from your era that Giannis reminds you of?
I mean, Giannis is special, but with his length, I would have to say Tayshaun Prince, especially in a play like this right here. Tayshaun was always one of the guys that was on the perimeter that can clean up a lot of mistakes, especially in transition. I don't have to tell you the play, but everybody knows the play that he made and saved us in the playoffs. But that right there was a very similar play.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a guy quite like Giannis from my perspective. Like the closest we've gotten is maybe like Orlando Shaq, and they're not quite the same, but we're seeing it with
totally different.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're the expert here. I would defer to you. You would know. Okay, moving along. We've got a bunch of reward moments. We're not dropping any of these challenges today. We will be dropping 2 of them tomorrow. So stay tuned for announcements on our socials tomorrow. These moments, Rip, these are what we've distinguished as the finest of the finest. And obviously the KD moment that we showed, the Terrence Mann moment, those keep the packs really exciting. But some of these moments that we're about to pull up, we're talking about superstars at their finest on the biggest stage with the biggest performance. So we're going to get these pulled up in a quick second. Of the moments we went through, you mentioned the KD. Is there another one that stands out to you?
Man, it's hard to top that KD because I was waiting for I was waiting for that moment right there. You got to give credit to the one you alluded to, the Terrence Mann one. The one that he got over Rudy Gobert, because we don't know like what's his ceiling yet. He's still a young kid. That right there, that moment, if he ends up being something that we think he's going to be, one of the really good two-way players, potential guy that can be, very similar to Jimmy Butler. Like nobody knew that Jimmy was going to be the Jimmy Butler that we're able to see today. He has a lot of similar attributes to him. So that might be a great moment to have also.
I love it. All right, moving on to the Challenge Awards. And we talked about Jokic a little bit before, but, the guy just does it in the postseason year after year. And
I didn't see that for the season either. I didn't see that during the playoffs. I missed that one.
We've seen a lot of Jokic assists. I can't remember a Jokic assist to himself quite like this one.
When the last time you seen a 7-foot center throw it off the glass and not dunk it though? Like you guys would dunk that play right there.
Oh man, I just love his game. He's crafty, he's dynamic, and what I love about this moment is you got Chris Paul, just 2 of the smartest, best passers of all time in the same moment. Just respect on that. And moving ahead here, Kyrie obviously got injured, wasn't able to close out the round, but he made his presence felt when he was out there for sure.
I wish this guy was healthy, man. Oh, right there, the KD. That was a beautiful play right there. I wish that he was healthy. I mean, because it would have been a definitely big difference. I truly believe Brooklyn would still be playing right there. Still will be playing right now.
What did Moses Malone say? 4-4-4-4. I think that's what Brooklyn's doing next playoff if they're healthy. I think they're on a revenge tour next year, spearheaded by this guy Kyrie. They've got too much talent to not rack up a championship with this squad. Moving ahead, Joel Embiid.
Oh, was that a pass?
It goes down as an alley-oop and an assist for sure.
I mean, is that a play that you go in the locker room and say, "Hey, coach, make sure they put that under the stat sheet as an assist right there"?
And we saw Simmons to Embiid on the alley-oop, retribution right there the other way. Gotta love it.
Got to show your brother some love in the city of brotherly love.
Absolutely. Well put. Moving ahead here from one lockdown center to another. This is Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year, closing out game one in the only way he knows how.
Oh, yes. I know Mars was thinking to myself, anybody else on the court but Rudy Gobert, I get this shot off.
And you got to give Rudy a lot of credit. He's 7'2", and he's not fouling on the perimeter in crunch time like that. Morris with the pump fake can't get the foul. Rudy, that's what he does.
Tough.
Moving ahead here. This is, if not the ones we've discussed, this might be my favorite moment of the round.
Oh, that's nasty right there. Listen, he had that on the T-shirt too, right? During his press conference, right? Like almost have Embiid in the headlock. Like, come on, man.
We'll have to watch this one a couple more times, JP, in the studio, because let's just diagnose it from the outset, right? As you said, put it on a T-shirt, and now it's on a Top Shot. So it's going to be in the zeitgeist of this year. And look at Trey. We'll see it in the next camera angle here. He does a little dance as he's prone to doing.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I know Embiid is like, oh, I got to get this kid back right now because I know this is going to be plastered all over social media.
It's just, and that's what Trey does for you, right? He drives to the lane, and he's got an unbelievable floater. He's got an unbelievable precision with his alley-oops. And as we saw in his moment earlier, he can kick it out at all times.
That might be one of the top 3 moments of the playoffs this so far, like by far.
Yeah, so if I'm going top 3, and we don't have the value moment yet, but that will come at some point, I would anticipate. The DeAndre Ayton game winner at the buzzer on the inbound pass. But I think it's this one, the Durant, and the Ayton, right? Those are the ones that stand. But this one from Kawhi, let's not sleep on this one, because this is a baptism right here.
Oh, yes. Show him what you're working with right there. On favors right there. He big-handed him right there. That's just Kawhi being Kawhi right there. Unbelievable move right there.
He's a robot. I'm convinced, because he does that in the game, and then at the end of the game, he's got a strained MCL that he's been dealing with for a little. Like, how does someone dunk like this with a knee that's barking, right?
Like you said, he a robot, man. He a machine. After the game, somebody took that battery out the back and found out that the battery was a little low. And they didn't have the charging equipment, recharging equipment to charge it back up.
We got 2 more moments to show. Chris Middleton, he's going to be pivotal for Milwaukee if they want to win this series. And this is a clutch bucket.
Getting to his spot right there. He felt it right when it left his fingertips right there. You got to love that move, because the one thing I've been telling people, man, the medium range game is not dead yet. And people really see that in the playoffs. And he got to his spot, and that was a prime example right there of guys getting to their spot, especially in late game situations. That's the more reliable shot.
I think this postseason is going to get someone like DeMar DeRozan even more money than he was already going to get, because we're seeing the need for ISO scoring. Now that the league has moved so much to slash and kick, you need these guys at the end of games that can create their own shot. And Chris Middleton, he's who, if I was drawing up a play for the Bucks at the end of a game, he's who I'd put the ball in the hands of, because he's cash. Now, Rip, this is your guy. Last moment we're showing today, Devin Booker, slicing and dicing.
Oh, got him on skates. Got Michael Porter. He had Michael Porter Jr. on skates right there. Just look at the shift from back and forth. Absolutely. This is a moment that is a must right there. Look how he gets to the basket with the nice little floater. Devin's been incredible, man. He's been like I've been telling people, he's been incredible his whole entire career. It's just for him now to be playing on this stage where the world can witness this. Because this right here is just a massacre right there, a ball handling wizard, not just a scorer.
Yeah, I think his path to superstardom has been very unique because he wasn't the go-to guy on his college team even, right? Of course, he played with Karl Anthony Towns at Kentucky. Then he gets to the NBA and Phoenix, fairly irrelevant for a bit. And he's a dead-eye shooter, as we know, but he was kind of thrust into primary creator responsibilities at a young age, which I think is now paying dividends, that he can be the point guard when you need him to be, but he can also be the scorer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Rip, I appreciate you coming by to break down some of these moments. Always a blast, and just a truly humbled that I get to chop it up with an NBA legend like yourself like this. I'm blessed. I can't put it any other way.
Anytime you need me, I'm a phone call away. Let's do this again.
Would love to, man. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the action. Before you head off, we need a prediction. Big game 2 tonight. Who you got? Bucks, Hawks.
Man, I'm going with the Bucks. The Bucks are not going to lose 2 games at home, even though Atlanta's playing at a high level. I just don't believe that the Bucks are going to lose. They worked too hard all regular season to get home court advantage to lose 2. So I'm going with the Bucks.
I like it. I think we're gonna end up seeing a 1-1 series heading back to Atlanta. And then for your updated finals predictions, before we let you out, who you got coming out of the East, who you got coming out of the West, and who you got winning it all?
Man, it's tough, but I think Phoenix is going to come out the West. I do. I think they're just, Cameron Payne's injury, they didn't give a timetable on when he's going to come back yet. That's going to be huge. But I like Phoenix in the West right now, and I can't. I mean, Trey's been playing amazing, but I still think this is Milwaukee's year. All the big dogs is out. Milwaukee's the last one left, so I'm gonna go with Milwaukee.
If you were to tell either of us at the beginning of the season that come late June, we're looking at a finals of Milwaukee or Atlanta and Phoenix, what? But these guys, they're earning it. It's a new era of the NBA. All of these teams have a guy that they'll be defining their legacy. That's what's so exciting. It's just such a fresh batch of superstar talent that we get to enjoy on a night-to-night basis. Rip, thank you again, man. And we'll do this again soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care. Community. That's Richard Hamilton, NBA legend. One of the best shooting guards of the last, 3 decades. Community. Do you want a giveaway? Should we do a giveaway? If you want to do a giveaway, let us know. We might want to give away a legendary pack. All right, I see we like the idea of a giveaway. Good, we like that. All right, you see the link on the screen. If you want to submit yourself eligible for this giveaway, follow the link on the screen. Do not submit your username more than once. If you submit your name more than once, we'll have to remove you. Don't do it. Just don't. No need. Everyone has an equal shot. We're going to be giving away, should we do a common pack, a rare pack, or a legendary? Let me know. Give me feedback in the chat. Which one should we go? The link is on the screen. Type that into your browser. We'll share it in the chat, but the chat is moving fast, so no guarantee that you'll be able to get it. Seeing some feedback. You guys want common? I'm surprised. You want commons? Interesting. I'm kidding. I see a lot of legendaries. We're going to do a legendary. We're going to do hollow icon because it's Friday and y'all are in the queue. It's going to be a long queue. We got a lot of packs still to come, and very excited for you all because it's not every day that you have an opportunity to get a free legendary moment in your collection. All you need to do is submit your username once to the link below. If you do that, just do it once. If you do it twice, you're out. I don't want you to be out. I want you to have a chance. Submit your username once, and we're going to open up a Hollow Icon pack. I'm going to try to do a little bit of trivia around the guys that we're opening up from this pack. And we're going to be able to send these out within the next week. So again, if you haven't yet, follow the link on the screen, submit your username, submit it once, and we'll be giving away a bunch of moments, 10 moments from this pack. You can see the link in the chat right here. Good luck to you all. We are going to deduplicate this list, make sure that no one that's abusing gets a chance. All you others, we're gonna drop this your way. In the meantime, as we wait for more people to submit, would love for you all to ask some questions. We're gonna log in here. Give us a second. Got to get our account pulled up so that we can do the giveaway. Got about 700 submissions so far, so keep them coming. And we're gonna get this giveaway going in the next couple minutes. We're gonna be here for a while, right? This queue is a monster, so bear with me as we get it pulled. Pulling it up here, you get to see the behind the scenes of me getting the account ready. Very important to 2FA. If you haven't 2FA'd your account, you got to 2FA. And we're in. We're going to wait for more people to enter this giveaway. The link is still on the screen. If you want a chance at a Hollow Icon moment for free, fill out the link. What are you waiting for? It's Friday. Celebrate. Unwind. Enjoy. Pulling it up. I'm going to share the screen as soon as we have it pulled. Meanwhile, let me know in the chat if you've already opened your pack. Let me know what you got. I want to hear it. Seeing some questions as we get more submissions filled in here. We're going to close entries in about a minute. Seeing a question about Cade Cunningham. Seeing a question about what I think of Cade Cunningham. I think Detroit got a bona fide star. TBD whether he fits well alongside Killian Hayes. But you draft Cade and you figure out what you're doing with Killian later. Because Cade is, in my eyes, Penny Hardaway type. Huge body, great passer, can shoot it well, can create his own shot, but also a just dynamic defender. So very excited for the Pistons to get a generational talent like him. I will say this. I think Evan Mobley is going to be an all-star. I think he's a stud. So wherever he ends up, that will be big because I think he can change a franchise's fate. I understand that Houston has Christian Wood already, so they might be looking at a Jalen Green or a Jalen Suggs. I think whoever ends up with Evan Mobley, and if it is the Cavs, they'll be running circles of joy because Evan Mobley alongside Isaac Okoro and Sexland, that's just an unbelievably good, strong foundation. I'm curious, though, because I think the top 5 from this draft is pretty – it's as good as I can remember, right, all the way down. So we're talking Cade Cunningham, who I already compared to Penny Hardaway. Evan Mobley, a lot of Chris Bosh vibes from him. And when we're talking Chris Bosh vibes, I think he gets comped a lot, right? James Wiseman last year got comped to Chris Bosh. I didn't see that. I really think Evan Mobley's got Chris Bosh vibes to him. Jalen Green, I think he's the guy that everyone is sleeping on. High flyer, bona fide scorer. If I had a comp for him, it would probably be something in the a little bit smaller than Paul George, but pretty similar type players. Jalen Suggs, see a lot of Drew Holiday with him. I think he's going to be a fringe all-star. He's a big body. I think he's going to be able to lock up on the defensive end really well. And a little bit of the Kyle Lowry, Jalen Brunson intangibles to his game as well. And then Jonathan Kuminga gets discussed less than those four, but he might be the ultimate wild card of the bunch because Kuminga has the size and strength of a Kawhi Leonard type and is equally raw to what Kawhi was coming out of San Diego State. Not much of a shooter yet, but I think that guy is going to be in the league for 10 to 15 years, defending stars at a very high level. So very excited for that. All right. We are almost good to go here. I'm going to share my screen and we are going to open up a bunch of moments from a legendary pack. I got too many tabs on my screen. I know that. I'm gonna X out of those. And we're gonna go to the holo icon drop. We're good to go. I'm hearing in the studio. We'll find out how many submissions we have, how many people are eligible for this pack. We're gonna open it up. Good luck to you and you and you. I have Promec and Cho Train and Urge PD and Dear Beer Inc. and Chico Sai and Top Shot Mama, rooting for you all. Good luck to everyone in the chat. May the pack gods be with you. Very excited for this one. And we're going to open it up. All right, we're going no music so that I can kind of provide a little bit of commentary here. We're going to save this bad boy for last. This is the legendary. We're saving that one for last. We got a rare. We're going to save that one. We're going to start with the commons. We're going to work our way down. We're going to skip the rares as we see them. We're going to skip the legendary, of course, and then we'll circle back. So I'm waiting on a green light. We've got over 1,000 submissions, but we got about 1,250 submissions. So as good a shot as you're going to get with about 20,000 viewers watching us right now. You're pretty lucky to have such a good chance. Now, I can't say it's an amazing chance, but there's a chance. If there's a will, there's a way. We're going to open it up. First moment is an assist from Cam Reddish, someone we were just talking about. The Hawks, of course, don't have him in the playoffs right now. But Cam Reddish is a two-way stud long-term. Of course, part of the big three in the Duke class, Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and Cam Reddish. They were three of the top four recruits that season. And believe it or not, some people thought Cam Reddish was actually the best coming out of high school of that bunch. And that moment goes to Chips, Dips, Raps, and Six. Chips, Dips, Raps, and Six. Congratulations on your Cam Reddish moment. Very happy for you. Moving along to the next common. We've got a dunk from Darius Baisley. For those of you who don't know Darius Baisley, the intern, rather than go to college, in his gap year between high school and the pros, he interned for New Balance and, has his own signature sneaker, worked and developed and learned marketing. Darius Baisley, one of the more athletic players in the league, and this dunk from January 4th goes to show he can put you on a poster, put you on a Top Shot. That moment goes to Paystacks. Paystacks, congrats on the Baisley. Moving ahead here, we got a Taco Fall Top Shot debut. Love this moment. Rejecting Russ at the rim. Taco Fall, a fan favorite, of course. And this one's a limited edition to 12,000. So congrats on the pull from your Top Shot debut. We are randomly selecting these from the list of 1,250 that wanted to do a giveaway, wanted to participate in this giveaway. So congrats to you. We are waiting on the result for who gets this Taco Fall. I will let you know as soon as possible. But in the meantime, let's watch it again. So this one goes to, I'm going to butcher this name, Forrest Chung Bite. Bitty. Forrest Chung Bite. Congratulations on your moment, Forrest Chung Bite. Great Taco Fall moment, his Top Shot debut. We've got a row of all comments here. Very excited. We got a dunk from Bam, one of my favorite players in the NBA, Bam Adebayo. Getting slept on now because the Heat are not going far in this postseason. But there was a time last NBA Finals where people were saying, is Bam better than Anthony Davis? And it wasn't that crazy to say because Bam was on one. He's the modern day Draymond Green. I know a lot of people are saying, what if Ben Simmons becomes Draymond Green? I think Bam is that guy. And this moment goes to APM. APM, congrats on your Bam. We got a layup from Bojan Bogdanovic, one of the splash uncles. Out of Croatia, Bojan has had a journeyman career. This is his fourth team, started with the Nets, and has really come on the scene ever since ending up in Indiana a few years back. They didn't have him last playoffs. Having him this playoffs helped them advance a little further. I think he's one of the more underrated players in the league because the guy can definitely score off the dribble, as we're seeing here. He can spot up and shoot, and he's stronger than he looks, so you can put him on a big body. This moment goes to PBEX24. PBEX24, congratulations on your Bojan. Yeah, I think Bojan, gets misclassed as a bad defender. I think he's got a little bit more defensive versatility than he's given credit for. Of course, you'll remember, I think it was 3 or 4 seasons ago, he was actually Indiana's primary LeBron defender in the first round when the Cavs and the Pacers were going head-to-head. And they actually won a game. So, there you go. Moving on, this is the last common moment of this pack opening. Let's see it. We got a dunk from Zion. And this is a moment right here. Put him on a poster, put him on a Top Shot. I don't envy the defender here. I think it's Chimezie Metu. Wouldn't want to be Metu trying to defend Zion like that. That is a hell of a moment. And let's see it. Waiting on who this moment belongs to. All right, I'm going to butcher the name here. Rudge Manalang, I think. We'll see. Congrats, you pulled the Zion. I don't think I'm putting my finger on the scale too hard when I say that's the pull of the day so far. But, an emphasis on but here. We got 3 rares still open, 1 legendary. So this is just heating up right here. Going to start at the bottom here, work our way backwards. Got a Cavs rare moment, serial number 93, Colin Sexton. Whew. Love this moment because it's not just the assist, the no-looker. It's also the celebration after the fact, and we'll see it from this angle better. He knows he dropped a dime. He knew it. This moment goes to Suppa Lupa. Suppa Lupa pulling the Colin Sexton. We'll watch it again. Serial number 93, a double-digit serial for you, Suppa Lupa, and Larry Nance with a nice flush. I love this moment. Just a great one. Very nice pull. We got two more rares, and then we got the big one. We got the legendary. We'll start with the rares. Got a Sacramento King, a three-pointer from my guy, Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes hitting one right as the clock is expiring at the buzzer. And you can see the Nuggets, a little defensive breakdown there. Harrison Barnes, of course, a very active Top Shot collector. And this moment, serial number 151 of 499 goes to Corn Boss. Corn Boss. There's corn in Iowa, I think. Harrison Barnes, of course, from Ames, Iowa. Congratulations. I know Nebraska is the Cornhusker state, but yeah, I don't know my Midwest geography enough, but I think there has to be some corn in Iowa. So Corn Boss, congrats on your Harrison Barnes. All right, two more moments. Indiana Pacers, a rare Victor Oladipo. Three teams this year for Victor Oladipo. And this one, flashing the athleticism. My hope for Vic is he's healthy, because when he's healthy, we saw it, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago at this point. When he was healthy, Victor Oladipo was a top 15 player in the league. We'll see if he's able to get it back. But this moment goes to EJ Gearhart. EJ Gearhart, congrats on your Victor Oladipo. We'll watch it again. Domantas Sabonis playing a little bit of point center, and Oladipo with a nice little finish. 22 points in this game. Congrats on the nice pull. We're ready? Chat. We got a legendary. We've got a legendary. Who's ready for it? Who is ready for a legendary pull? I'm rooting for you all. One of you is going to get a legendary moment sent to their collection, airdropped within the week. Very excited for you. Are we ready for it? I'm nervous myself. Nervous for all of you. I want you all to get it. I know only one of you can get it. We'll see. All right, we're gonna open it up. Hyperventilating over here. Nervous. I want you all to succeed. Whew. Deep breaths. Orlando Magic, legendary 86, Aaron Gordon, Top Shot investor, and Aaron Gordon, no stranger to a throwdown. In my opinion, the best dunk contest dunker of all time, despite the fact that he was robbed twice. And this one, soaring from out of nowhere, beating Anthony Edwards off of the dribble. Chat. This moment goes to Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon, this is your moment. Very happy for you. That's a big pull. Chat. I'm going to go a little rogue here. I'm going to make sure it's okay to go a little rogue. We're going to open up a rare. I want feedback from you all. Which rare pack should we open? There's some that I can't open. But we're going to open up a rare. And the options are Rising Stars, Premium Pack, or All-Star Game. Those are the options. Premium Pack, Rising Stars, All-Star Game. Seeing It seems like a pretty even split. Oh man, it's going fast. It is going fast. Oh man, like when I think Rising Stars is about to take the lead, I see premium packs getting overwhelming suggestions. Then I see a bunch of all-star games coming in waves. It's a pretty, people are pretty split here. Man, I wish I had a way to turn this into a poll. I'm gonna go with Rising Stars. I haven't opened one of those in a while, and I think it got the most votes. It was close though. It's very close. But yeah, Rising Stars is the one that I think we're getting the most requests for. So let's get to it. You know what? It's a good point. Some of you didn't get to enter last time. So I'm going to make the studio's job really hard. And I apologize, JP. You're the MVP. You're doing this all. Let's get that link back up there. And let's give everyone another opportunity. Of course, do not submit your username more than once. If you've already submitted it, you're good. If you have not yet submitted it, we're going to put the link to the giveaway form back up. And those that didn't have the chance before are going to have another chance. Now, to be clear, if you've already submitted, don't submit again. If you've already won, don't submit again. We're going to open up this pack. We're going to make sure that everyone, if you came in a little late for the giveaway, you're going to have another chance. But we might be okay. We see that we're going to close entries in a minute, so don't say we didn't warn you. You got 1 minute. If you submit more than once, if you've already submitted, do not submit again. If you haven't yet submitted, you got a minute to do so. We're going to deduplicate the list, so if you've submitted more than once, you're out. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. And then, so if you want to submit, check the link on the stream. Hoops/stream giveaway. We're putting it in the chat as well. If you submitted late last time, it counts now. Do not submit again. We're using the same form as last time. If you submitted the wrong Discord name, don't worry. If you submitted after the last one closed, don't resubmit. We only need your submission once, no matter when it came in. All right, we're gonna give this another 20 seconds. In the meantime, I see some people saying that, questioning my Bam Adebayo call. Recency bias is a crazy thing, everyone, because the last NBA Finals, just like right now, everyone is saying that the Trae Young Luka Doncic trade was fair. And it might be, it may be. We don't know. That's my point. There's so much still to be told from the Luka narrative and the Trae narrative. But Trae Young was not an all-star 3 months ago. So recency bias is a hell of a thing because Luka was a top 5 MVP candidate all season. And now because Trae's putting on a show, people are saying that was actually a fair trade. Well, let's rewind the dial. Last NBA Finals, Bam Adebayo was arguably the best player on the Heat. Jimmy Butler also very much in that discussion. But Bam Adebayo was one of 2 best players on an NBA Finals team. And people were absolutely saying he was a top 20 guy, top 15 guy. Now it feels a little distanced and removed. And at this point, I don't know if people would agree with that. But that's what recency does. It shapes our perspective. So, I'm going to throw flowers to Bam because that guy's a stud. You can build a championship team around Bam as your big man because he's a hell of a passer. He can bring the ball up the floor. And there are very few guys in the entire league that defend as well as him. So just trying to reset the narrative here. I'm not the one saying that Bam was better than Anthony Davis, but that was a narrative going on last season. And as crazy as it seems right now, when you are Bam Adebayo and you are the second best player or the best player on a championship team or a finals team, you deserve that credit. You deserve that praise. All right, we've got 2,000 submissions. We're going to deduplicate this list. Again, if you've submitted more than once, I'm sorry, but them's the rules. In the meantime, I'll take one more NBA question, and then we're going to jump into this Rising Stars pack. Waiting for an NBA question here. We have closed submissions. We had it open for a full 4 or 5 minutes there. Okay, this is a good question of the day. Where does Kyle Lowry go? And I've done a little bit of research here. So I've got 4 options. I want to hear what you all think, but the 4 teams that I think Kyle Lowry could end up on are, and I'll go in order of where I think is most likely to least likely. Most likely, I think Kyle Lowry is a Miami Heat next year. I think Kyle Lowry ends up on the Heat. Now, I'm putting out 4 names, and none of these teams have greater than, I'd say, 20% chance of happening because you got 30 teams that could be competing for his service. But I've got Miami at the top of my list for Kyle Lowry. Number 2, and we're seeing it a lot, Philly. He's a Philly kid, Villanova product. I think he could end up in Philly pretty naturally, pretty happily, and add a lot of value to what they're doing. Wouldn't sleep on that. Number 3, the Lakers. It's crazy to think, but they had a chance at Kyle Lowry this trade deadline, and they didn't want to include Taylor Horton-Tucker in the deal. They still have Dennis Schroeder, who they can sign and trade. There could be kind of similar to what we saw with KD and D'Lo. We can see a sign and trade for sign and trade with Kyle Lowry and Dennis Schroeder. Remains to be seen if the Raptors would be interested, but I think that's an option. And we know LeBron has the utmost respect for Kyle Lowry. And as Hillside Homie says in the chat, NBA Top says in the chat, I think the 4th option for Kyle Lowry, and it dates back to their courting of him in 2012, 2013, is the New York Knicks. I think Kyle Lowry could have an impact on the Knicks somewhat similar to what Chris Paul has done for Phoenix, bringing a veteran presence, leadership to the locker room, and just a really great player at the end of the day to the roster. So those are the 4 that I think are most likely. I'd love to hear from you all what you think. Because, when it comes to Kyle Lowry, that's an interesting one. Is Kyle Lowry a Hall of Famer? I think he is. I think the championship solidified it. You look at the number of All-Star games he's made, and I'll be clear here. The NBA, the Basketball Hall of Fame is not the Baseball Hall of Fame when it comes to exclusivity. So someone like Kyle Lowry, a star in this league for as long as he has been, I think he's a Hall of Famer. All right, we're going to open up this pack. I'm excited. Just another pack for you all. You all deserve it. Happy Friday. Rising Stars. Let's see it. We're gonna open the Rising Stars moment last. In this pack, we also have a Seeing Stars moment. So we've got 7 moments total. One of these commons is a Seeing Stars. And then this baby right here, that's a Rising Stars. And that can include Zion, that can include Ja, that can include Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball. Lots of Rising Stars on the table. Very excited. We're going to start with the commons, though, the base set. Got a block from Yusuf Nurkic, the Bosnian beast. Here's a fun fact about Yusuf Nurkic. His dad is also 7 feet tall and is a bodyguard, or was a bodyguard / police officer in Bosnia. And there's a rumor, unsubstantiated, but I've heard this rumor from inside NBA circles, that Yusuf Nurkic's dad is a 7'4" 400-pound or 380-pound bodyguard police officer that at one point beat up 13 people in a fight. It was a 1-on-13, and he took them all down. That's Jusuf Nurkic for you. And Jusuf Nurkic, don't get it twisted. Before the injury, one of the more dynamic centers in the league. I think this year he was still working himself back into shape. This moment goes to Jason 0605. Very happy for you, Jason 0605, on this Jusuf Nurkic moment. And look into it, community. I'm not making it up. Look up Jusuf Nurkic's dad. Great stories. Nurkic seems like the type of guy that would be fun to hang out with. All right, moving through. We're going to skip the rare and come back to it, of course. Only one moment from this pack is a rising star. We'll open that rising star when we get to it. And it's possible we get some other base set rising star players, but that moment, that rising stars moment will be the last one we pull. Julius Randle, first-time All-Star from my New York Knicks. And, needless to say, the fact that the Knicks went 3-0 against the Hawks in the regular season got my hopes up that they would put up a fight against them in the playoffs. But right here, Julius Randle can't take anything away from this guy. 28 points and 17 boards in this moment, in this game. This moment goes to Morosky. Morosky, congrats on your Julius Randle. Continuing along here. I said there could be another rising star in this pack from the base set, and here we go. Tyrese Halliburton. Throwing it down with authority. Whew. Getting Fred VanVleet in the air, putting down the hammer. This is one of Halliburton's best moments from his rookie season. One of my favorite players in the league to watch. Just a marvelous passer, a great shooter. He's kind of got it all. He can play on ball, he can play off ball. In Sacramento, they've got a stud. They got, I'll say this, you can give Phoenix all of the credit in the world for assembling the team that they have. But they had a shot at Tyrese Halliburton. And Halliburton would look mighty nice on that team. This moment is going to Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki, congrats on your Tyrese Halliburton. A finalist for Rookie of the Year. Didn't get the Rookie of the Year nod, but he's going to be a problem for years to come. Continuing along. We got a Malcolm Brogdon. This guy is one of my favorite players in the league. I think he's going to be a future politician, could be president of the United States one day. They call him the mayor. 4-year player at Virginia. And Malcolm Brogdon. I'm in my own head now. Is he at Virginia or Virginia Tech? Virginia. I was right. Get nervous there, though, right? They're rivals. I got that wrong with Roger Mason, so wanted to make sure I got it right here. Malcolm Brogdon, similar to Tyrese Halliburton, can play with the ball in his hands, can play with him out, play off ball, not dead-eye shooter. Milwaukee certainly missing him in his service. I'll be really curious to see what happens with Rick Carlisle coming to Indiana next year and what that looks like. I think it's a great fit. That moment is going to Dogbert. Dogbert, congrats on the moment. As a Knicks fan, if we were able to get any of the, from Nurkic to Halliburton to Brogdon to play alongside Randle, I'd be a happy camper. All right, moving forward here. We got a dunk. Deandre Hunter, as Richard Hamilton was saying, a guy that could be an X factor for them as they progress through the playoffs, throwing it down on Milwaukee in the regular season. He had 33 in this game, so needless to say, he would have a big impact on the series. Very excited about DeAndre Hunter's future as just a 3-and-D guy. He had a not stellar rookie season 2 years ago, but this season making amends, big sophomore catch-up for him. We're waiting on. This moment goes to Ghost Cutter. Ghost Cutter, congrats on your DeAndre Hunter moment. Moving along here. The last common before we get to the Rising Stars. We got a dunk, and it's a Seeing Stars from Anthony Davis. Whew. Chat, do not get it twisted. I was not insinuating that Bam is better than Anthony Davis. As far as big men in the league go, I think Davis, Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis are kind of in a class of their own. And then there's a tier below them that Bam is certainly in. But that Seeing Stars, serial number 306, that's an ultra low serial number. Whew. And I'm going to make some reaches here, just reading the comments here. This is 30-point performance, obviously serial number 30, or 306. And it came on February 6th. So it all fits. It's a great moment. Y'all are going to think that I'm making this name up, but easy name. You get the Anthony Davis. Congratulations. All right. We got the last one. Whew. Who do we want to see, everyone? I'm nervous. Nervous for you. Hillside Homie, of course, Karl Anthony Towns is in the class of top-notch centers. I think he's closer to the BAM class than that tier of 4 that I outlined. And I think we got to start giving DeAndre Ayton some credit because I think he's ascended into that class as well. All right. Are we ready for it? Whew. I'm anxious. Nervous here, but we're going to do it. I'm going to pull it. Charlotte Hornet. We got LaMelo. His first career triple-double, the first of many. And the dexterity of LaMelo is what I love most about him. An elite passer with right or left hand. An elite finisher with his right or left hand. Serial number 887. That is epic. Rookie of the year. 22 points, 12 boards, 11 dimes in this game on January 9th. Oh, man, is there a more exciting young player than LaMelo? It's close. He's so – oh. This moment goes to Miles 22. I hope that's a Miles Bridges fan that's also a Charlotte Hornets fan. LaMelo Ball, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen. That is a hell of a poll. And Miles 22, you are the beneficiary of that poll. Congratulations. That is – quite the pack. I'm happy we did it. I'm happy we pulled a second. That is fun. All right. Let's do one more NBA question. Then I'm out of here. We got meetings, everyone. We got a lot going on today. We got to get to. Take one more NBA centric question, and then we're back. And reminder, no challenges going live today. We will be having challenges go live tomorrow. We will announce them when they're live. We are not going to tell you what time, but stay tuned. You'll see it on socials if you're paying attention. And the reason why we're not saying explicitly is we don't want a circumstance where everyone's rushing to the exact same moments in the marketplace at the exact same time, which, it sets us up for collectors not having a great situation. And it sets up the site to be taxed really heavily there. We have a new quest coming next week for sure. All right, let's see it. Let's see it. Gonna waiting for the next one to come in. For the question that catches my eye to come in. Haven't seen it yet. Don't really, I think whether Brooklyn gets a big or not, they're going to be a championship contender. So I want to take something that catches my eye. We're going to go with, when am I going to shave? I'm overdue there. Number 2 in this draft. We'll go with that. We'll close out with number 2. I mentioned this earlier. I think that Evan Mobley is a stud. Would love to see Evan Mobley get drafted 2. My hunch is that the Rockets really like Christian Wood. My hunch is that the Rockets are going to go for one of the wings, be it Jalen Suggs, be it Jalen Green, be it Jonathan Kuminga. If I had to guess today, I think Jalen Green is going. I think Jalen Green's going 2. And I'm going to actually pull up the draft order just to make sure I'm not mistaken. I know that number 3 is Cleveland. And I'm just going to give you my top 5 off the cuff. Haven't thought through it. Haven't done the scouting. No need to share the screen here. But we got Detroit, Houston, Cleveland, Toronto, Orlando. All right. If I had to guess today, I think Detroit is going with Cade. I think Houston's going Jalen Green. I think Cleveland is patting themselves on the back and taking Evan Mobley. And I think Evan Mobley, to answer JG13579 in the chat, I think that I think Evan Mobley and Jared Allen complement each other really well because Evan Mobley's got some perimeter game. I think number 4 is where it gets interesting because I could see the Raptors making a play for Jalen Suggs, but more likely, I think the Raptors are the big home run hitters here, and they go for Jonathan Kuminga because Kuminga, the Raptors have Fred VanVleet. The Raptors have Malachi Flynn. They don't need another ball handler necessarily. Where Kuminga has superstar potential, I think that catches Masai's eye. I think that catches Bobby Webster's eye. And then 5th, Orlando. That's where I think Jalen Suggs ends up. I think Jalen Suggs and Cole Anthony is the backcourt in Orlando for years to come. I think that's going to be a really interesting combo. So that's my top 5. Maybe we'll do a breakdown. I'm hoping and expecting we're actually going to see some NBA rookies or upcoming draft prospects joining streams in future weeks. Really excited about that. And I see someone, JG, in the chat saying that he's heard the Raptors like Scotty Barnes. I could see it. I think if we're gonna forecast out to number 6 with Oklahoma City, I think Scotty Barnes ends up there. I think he's going to be really good. So that's my top 6, and subject to change. We got about around 10,000 packs left, from my understanding. So good luck to you all. And the question: who do I think our Knicks are going to draft? Honestly, we have 2 picks. 19 and 21. I could see us packaging them up to move up in the draft. I could see us trading back. I could see us trading for a star with those picks. This draft is a good draft to be in the 10 to 25 range because there's a lot of depth and a lot of different players. So very excited for that. And y'all, we're going to reopen up this marketplace as soon as we're finished selling these packs. So stay tuned there. Stay tuned for the challenge coming tomorrow. And yeah, we're also going to post our recap of office hours in the chat. And JP in the studio with the jokes, he can definitely dunk on me. I've been dunked on before, several times. I'm trying to think if there's ever been someone that you all would know that's dunked on me. I don't think so. But there have been a few NBA guys that both my brother, myself got to play against, and my brother in particular got to go up against Sean Kilpatrick, who, had a good run with the Nets and then the Bucks. Kevin Jones, nice little run with the Pelicans. But chat, always love here. Appreciate you all. Very excited about the game tonight. My prediction, Bucks win tonight, Hawks win the series. The Hawks winning game one changed my opinion of what the Hawks could do. I think they have enough defenders here to give Giannis, Drew, and Chris a hard time. And very, very excited about this Clippers-Suns series. I think the Suns and the Hawks are going to meet up in the playoffs. And that will be the Devin Booker, Trae Young clash of the future that, 10 years from now, we might be looking at. We might be looking at this year as the year that the page turned, and the era of the superstars of the last 10 years are no longer kind of the headliners going into the big playoff matchups. Very excited. We'll see. Appreciate you all. Thank you. And we'll talk soon. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.